Hey guys, it's Friday and you're expecting a review, but I have 2 reviews and a lot of other things that I've been doing this week because it's finally summer and I don't have to work this week. So I had a lot of time to read, and with my new strategy of reading more than one thing at the time, I'm actually gaining some progress here. So let's talk about the reviews. First, I read the second book in the Bane Chronicles, The Runaway Queen. This time Magnus Bane is in revolutionary Paris, 1791. And I thought it was an interesting story because he sort of has to help Marie Antoinette to escape from something. And he meets the queen, and of course there are vampires and other troubles and a guy he likes and all those things. And it was an enjoyable story, but it wasn't as hilarious and funny as the first one, What Really Happened in Peru. After that I finished another novella, The 19 Dragons by Lady Rain. And I really enjoyed it. A friend of mine told me about it and said you can download it for free. It's supposed to be steampunk. Sounds interesting. And it was. It has 20 chapters and each of the first 19 chapters talks about one of the 19 dragons. There's not a lot of world building in the beginning, and I really like that. I like how the story is told of this world that is built upon the pillars of the 19 dragons. And every time a dragon dies, one of the pillars crumbles and a province disappears. It's basically a big void that's there then, like a big nothingness. And I really liked how the story was told. You met all these dragons and how they interacted, and in the first you meet the first dragon, and there is something bad that happens and something gets stolen and something disappears, which is not good for the dragons. That's why they are becoming mortal instead of being immortal, and that is a danger for the whole world. And also there is a war raging, and that is just mentioned like by and by, and I really liked how the story conveyed without too much. It wasn't packed with information, it was just the basics, and it was really interesting to see. I think it's just 110 pages or so. I can only recommend it to anyone who likes steampunk or interestingly told stories. And like I said I continued reading The God of Small Things. I think I managed to read another 50 or something pages, and I figured out why I don't really like the book, but I'm going to make it through this month. Also, I was in Berlin the last 2 days to see Iron and Wine. If you don't know who Iron and Wine is, he's one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and you should check him out. I love him. His new album was, the first time I heard it, a little bit disappointing, but the more you listen to it, the better it gets. And the show, this tour, you should definitely go and see if you can get a ticket. He's touring with a huge band with strings and trumpets and saxophones and all these things, and it was just pure fun. It was just amazing. And while I was in Berlin, I was also visiting a friend, and she said, hey, you want to go on a time travel? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, I just read a book and it just totally took me back to university, to a time where we had friends who organized parties. And this is the book. Tino Hanekam, Sowas von da. It's a German author, and it's about this last party he organizes for his club. And it's like all the things that are told about it, it's just like bringing back memories of the time when I was at university. I had a flatmate who frequently organized university parties for students and other parties and all the things that are around that, like with getting the drinks, getting the rooms and everything. It's a little bit described in here. I already started and I'm like 80 pages in, and I don't really like the writing style. It's a special German thing that's really in fashion, which I don't like, but it's a fun story. I'm enjoying the things that are happening, and it is a little bit of time travel. And I also started another book because on the train I finished The 19 Dragons and I only had my tablet with me, so I looked what I had on there, and I had Light and Dark by DM5 on there, and it's a book that the author sent to me to read, and I thought, yeah, I could just start doing this, and I forgot what it was about. But it's really interesting. I read the first few chapters and I just got sucked into it. It's a fantasy sort of story. It's set in, I think, Indianapolis. I'll tell you more about that in the full review. But it's sort of connected to a card game and reality and interlinking things with dragons. I really need to read more of that to know exactly what it's about. But I was really surprised at some things that happened there in the beginning, so that's what I'm also continuing to read. Wow, I had a really busy week. What I didn't do is watch any YouTube videos because it's sunny outside, and I've heard that I've been tagged by, I think, Leah, and yeah. I'll do that. And I also should finally film my Q&A. So hopefully I can manage that on the weekend because I don't have to work till Monday. All right, everyone, have a very nice weekend. And how was your week? Did you have a good week as well?